Hello friends and welcome to HitBullsEye. My name is Manish and in this video we are going to discuss the current affairs for the 4th week of December 2022. So in case you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon ताकि जब भी हम ये वीडियोस पोस्ट करते हैं उसके नोटिफिकेशंस आपको मिलते रहें. So देखते हैं पिछले एक हफ्ते में क्या कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट हुआ है. Of course we are going to discuss the FIFA World Cup victory as well, but in case you haven't seen a dedicated video on FIFA World Cup, on this channel you will find the FIFA World Cup victory video specifically in the topic of the week for December week 4. So check out on this channel the FIFA World Cup victory topic of the week. So let's take a look at so many other news that we have, quite important ones because we are at the end of the year and there are certain important awards and recognitions that are awarded by the end of the year. So let's take a look. First is PETA India's 2022 Person of the Year. So PETA is an animal rights organization. So we will see कि PETA का 2022 Person of the Year कौन बने हैं. Last year it was Alia Bhatt, the Bollywood actress. Let's see who this year it is. Next, ITF, International Tennis Federation, World Champions 2022. In the men's category, in the women's category, lawn tennis में world champions कौन बने हैं 2022 में. Next, FIFA World Cup 2022 winners. So it's a no-brainer that Argentina has defeated France to become the world champion this year. But we will be discussing some other awards like Golden Boot Award, Golden Ball Award, and what do they stand for. Next, India has announced the candidature for UNSC membership. Some of you might be confused that India is already a non-permanent member of UN Security Council and the term is about to end on 31st December 2022. So how come India has announced its candidature again? Is it for the next term or maybe a few years down the line? We will find out. Then Mrs. World 2022. Miss World we have had, Mrs. World 2022. We'll see who has become. Next, Women's FIH Nations Cup, Women's Hockey Nations Cup 2022. We will see who has won, and of course it is India. Gati Shakti University, Ashwini Vaishnav is going to be the first chancellor. Railways Minister Ashwini Vaishnav is going to be the first chancellor of the Gati Shakti University that has been set up by the government and made a central university this year itself. Next, in football again, Karim Benzema, the iconic football player from France, has announced his retirement from international football, along with Lionel Messi, of course. Next, in the Oscars 2023 shortlist, because Indians are quite obsessed with the Oscar awards and quite frankly the entire world is, we will find out the two entries of India that have made it to the shortlist of Oscars in the top 15. One in the best original song category and one in the best foreign language feature film. So we'll find out what these two entries from India are, which might win India a coveted Oscar prize. And finally, UN Security Council has passed a resolution on psychological well-being of UN personnel. There are thousands of UN personnel who are working in peacekeeping operations around the world. So we will take a look at this resolution that is the first ever standalone resolution that talks about mental well-being of UN peacekeepers. So welcome change. So let's talk about all these issues one by one. Starting with the first one. So here you see the Bollywood actress Sonakshi Sinha. So Sonakshi Sinha is the PETA 2022 Person of the Year. Last year it was another Bollywood actress Alia Bhatt. This year it is Sonakshi Sinha. Now some of you might be thinking कि हर साल एक Bollywood actress को ही क्यों PETA अपना Person of the Year बना देता है. So we'll discuss two things. First, what is PETA? People for the ethical treatment of animals. People for the ethical treatment of animals. That means this is an animal rights organization that talks about the rights of the animals, that how animals should not be killed, should not be tortured, should not be used for entertainment, should not be killed for clothes, for leather, end product, and their poaching and hunting should be absolutely banned, which all of these things make a lot of sense. So PETA is the international body that talks about these things. It was founded in 1980 and it defends and establishes animal rights. बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो इनडायरेक्टली और डायरेक्टली हमें इम्पैक्ट करती हैं रियल लाइफ में, लेकिन हम उन चीजों पे ध्यान नहीं देते. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आपने देखा होगा कि आखिरी 10 से 15 सालों में सर्कसेस जो होती हैं, जो सर्कस होती है आजकल इतनी ज्यादा नहीं होती हैं. So one of the reasons of dying down of circuses is, first, people have moved on to other means of entertainment. Second is, now there are a lot of restrictions on how you can use animals, real animals in a circus. तो इसलिए उनका जो एक attraction level है वो बहुत कम हो गया. How to keep animals in a zoo or in a national park also is governed by this. You know, the leather industry has started manufacturing synthetic leather rather than the actual animal leather to a very large extent. And now more and more linkage is being established between climate change and the killing of animals. तो इसलिए वो भी एक डायमेंशन है जिसको लेके चला जा रहा है. वेजिटेरियनिज्म या वीगनिज्म, दैट ऑल्सो इज हाईली प्रमोटेड बाय पीटा. सो पीटा हर साल हर कंट्री में एक पर्सन ऑफ द ईयर डिक्लेयर करती है. इंडिया में इस साल वो सोनाक्षी सिन्हा है. क्यों? Because her actions have helped save the lives of many animals killed for fashion, and her strong advocacy for dog and cat rights. She's a animal rights activist as well. So she has this campaign ensuring, envisioning a world without homeless dogs and cats. Adopt a dog or cat from an animal shelter and always get your animal companions sterilized. This is one of the messages she is sending. So Sonakshi Sinha is the PETA 2022 Person of the Year. Right? Very important. Next, sports, lawn tennis. So दो स्पोर्ट्स की आज हम बात करेंगे. एक लॉन टेनिस, तीन की. एक लॉन टेनिस, एक फुटबॉल और एक hockey, women's hockey. First, talking about the lawn tennis, this is Mr. Rafael Nadal, one of the top lawn tennis players in the world. He's a Spanish, Rafael Nadal. He is the Men's International Tennis Federation World Champion 2022 for the fifth time. For the fifth time. And इससे पहले 2008, 2010, 2017 और 2019. Basically, it has been more or less a three-men dominant, you can say, sphere. One is Mr. Rafael Nadal, second is Novak Djokovic, and third is Roger Federer. Or let's say third was Roger Federer, because this year he announced retirement from international tennis. So 2022 male player of the year is Mr. Rafael Nadal. Talking about the female player, Iga Swiatek, a Polish, she's from Poland. So she is women's ITF world champion for winning 2 Grand Slam titles and 8 overall titles this season. So she is the new, you know, you can say the world best, one of the world's best players. And this year too, one of the best, or let's say the all-time best, Serena Williams also announced her retirement from international tennis. So we are seeing a sort of a new kind of a generational change in this. And that is true for most of the sports. I think Lionel Messi has retired. Then you have Karim Benzema taking retirement. So there are changes in sports. Coming to football, FIFA World Cup 2022 winners. So FIFA World Cup 2022 that took place in Qatar last week has Argentina as its winners, and it was a crackle of a match. Every minute, every second of the match was like the bursting of crackers there. And both the teams were, I won't say they were fighting neck to neck. They were fighting cell to cell. That was how sharp the fight was, and that was how competent both of the teams are, with some of the world's greatest of all time GOAT players playing in both the teams. Anyway, so Argentina won that against France, but these are the players who have got some individual honors in FIFA World Cup. Starting with Mr. Lionel Messi, of course, the messiah of the entire game. So he has received the Golden Ball. He has received the Golden Ball Award for tournament's best player. Right, overall best player is Lionel Messi. He has got the Golden Ball award. Then second is, another fantastic player there, Kylian Mbappe from France. So Kylian Mbappe has taken the Golden Boot, very well deserved Golden Boot. Although just before the finals, it was a sort of a tie between both the players, having 5 goals each, Lionel Messi and Mbappe. But he scored a hat trick in a World Cup final. Can you believe that? One of the most, not one of the most, the most important match in football in 4 years gap, and playing in the finals, he scored a hat trick. So he got a well-deserved golden boot for scoring maximum goals, that is 8 goals, and Lionel Messi had 7. Third is Argentine goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez. He got golden glove for best goalkeeper. So golden ball, overall best player, golden boot for most number of goals, golden glove because you stop the ball with a glove. So golden glove for Emiliano Martinez, and Argentina's Enzo Fernandez got the young player of the tournament award. So 3 awards went to Argentine team and golden boot went to Mr. Mbappe. So these are the 4 awards you need to take an eye on. India announces candidature for UNSC membership. UN Security Council, which is the most important or the most powerful body of the United Nations, the most powerful principal organ of the United Nations, has 15 members, with 5 being the permanent members and 10 non-permanent members. और ये जो 5 permanent members हैं, they are the United States of America, Russia, China, France, and UK. Other than that, so they are going to be permanent, as the name suggests. They are permanent members. Since 1945, they have been the members. China was a later addition, though. Then 10 non-permanent members who have a tenure of 2 years each. Who have tenures of 2 years each. Now, India, of course, is not a permanent member. So India has been a non-permanent member 8 times. Right now, India is a non-permanent member. So from 1st of January 2021 till 31st of December 2022, that means by the end of this month, India is a non-permanent member of the UN Security Council. और इंडिया ने अगली बिड अभी अनाउंस कर दिया that we are going to be the 9th non-permanent member for the 9th time in 2028-29. This is the bid India has already proposed. Right, so India has been, अगर इस बार भी इंडिया बन गया, after 6 years, then that will be the 9th time India will become a non-permanent member. Although India has been expecting and has been pushing to become a permanent member, but that is a very long drawn process, and there are a lot of countries in the loop. There is a G4 dedicatedly for that, and there is a Azulvini consensus. There are a lot of things. There are so many countries that want to become permanent members of UN Security Council, but that is something altogether different story. Here, India is just pitching for a non-permanent membership. And right now in December 2022, India is the president of UN Security Council because it has a monthly rotation policy. So 2021 में अगस्त में इंडिया प्रेसिडेंट था यूएन सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल का, और अब 2022 में दिसंबर में इंडिया फिर से प्रेसिडेंट बना है. And that is why Mr. S. Jaishankar is sitting on the seat of president UNSC, and he is an Indian. So what does India get by doing this? By proposing itself again and again on the Security Council, by becoming the president. This is the world's highest stage. This is the global high table of decision making, you can say. So what India gains by becoming a member again and again is global exposure, number 1. Number 2, whatever significant issues India wants to raise at the global stage, it can do. For example, India has been highlighting the cross-border terrorism from Pakistan time and again. Number 2, India has been highlighting China's support for terrorists because China has been blocking all the resolutions against the UN enlisted terrorists. Number 3, India has been able to put forth the issues of the global south or the developing countries. It can be environmental concerns, it can be international terrorism, it can be economic crisis, it can be anything. So coupled with the UNSC membership, and now that India has also got the G20 presidentship for the next year, the overall agenda of India is to become a leader of all those countries who are trying to take up issues but they are not able to. So India is going to lead all those countries, whether it is about taking action on climate change, whether it is about climate finance talks on which the developed countries are, too, they are not willing to contribute for climate finance, and also whether it is international terrorism, on which countries like Pakistan and China, they get together and they fail any resolution that is either proposed by India or is introduced by India. So this kind of a exposure gives opportunity to India to take up all these matters at the international stage, and India will continue to do that until we get, the seat at the global high table. So you have to remember, 2028-29 is the term that India has proposed to get in the UN Security Council. We have Mrs. World 2022. Miss World, Miss Universe, of course, we know. Mrs. World is Miss Sargam Kaushal. So she's an Indian. She's not of Indian origin only, because most of the times these days, when we hear a name of an Indian with a very high designation or with a very high honor, we presume that person must be of Indian origin but must be living somewhere in the other countries. But no, she is living in India, and it is 21 years after some Indian won Mrs. World title. तो Mrs. World का टाइटल जो है ये 1984 में शुरू किया गया था, और लास्ट जो अगर किसी इंडियन ने जीता था, शी वाज अदिति गोवित्रिकर इन 2001. तो 21 सालों बाद किसी इंडियन ने ये अवार्ड दोबारा से जीता है, एंड दैट इज मिस सरगम कौशल. शी इज ओरिजिनली फ्रॉम जम्मू एंड कश्मीर बट लिविंग इन दिल्ली. Next to women's FIH. So, okay. So the third sport we are going to talk about today is women's hockey. As you can see how ecstatic these women are, and they should be. But amid all the din of FIFA World Cup victory, this somehow got, got less attention, I would say. So Women's FIH Cup 2022 has been won by Indian women's hockey team led by captain Savita Punia, and they beat Spain 1-0. और ये कहाँ पर हुआ है? स्पेन में ही, right? So almost 1 day before the FIFA World Cup was announced, the final was held. This match took place, and Indian women's hockey team is the winner. Gati Shakti University. Now, Gati Shakti is a theme that was launched in the last year's union budget, and it has twofold meaning. One is the overall theme of increased speed towards India's progress. Gati Shakti. Gati means speed, Shakti means power. So the power of speed. Now, one is the general context in which we talk about it. Like, we should speed up the achievement of targets. It can be increasing India's literacy rate, it can be improving India's healthcare infrastructure, it can be improving infrastructure, defense spending, sustainable development goal targets, climate change commitments, whatever you talk about. This is the general theme, that we have to speed up things a bit so that progress can be achieved earlier. The second meaning of Gati Shakti is specifically in the context of infrastructure. That means we should have semi-high speed or high speed trains. We should have a very good network of expressways and highways. We should have really robust civil aviation infrastructure. We should have, waterways. So transportation infrastructure, telecommunication infrastructure like 4G, 5G has been launched now. Then, so telecom, then we have transportation infrastructure, then we have energy infrastructure in the form of pipelines, natural gas pipelines, crude oil pipelines and all that. So ये दो थीम है जो कि गति शक्ति का जिसे कि मतलब है. Now talking specifically about the second meaning of Gati Shakti. So government this year gave approval to setting up of a Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalaya or university in Vadodara, Gujarat. and it was set up by President Draupadi Murmu. And now that it has started functioning, its first chancellor is Mr. Ashwini Vaishnav. He's the union minister right now. He's the union minister of railways. So here, Gati Shakti specifically, we are talking about some transportation or infra related ministry. So he will be the first chancellor. It does not mean, please mind it does not mean that every railway minister will be the ex officio chairperson of Gati Shakti University. ऐसा कहीं भी अभी तक specify नहीं हुआ है. Just like every central university has the president of India as its chancellor, most of the central universities, and most of the state universities have the governors of those respective states as their chancellors. But this is not the only thing that is there. There can be variations also. For some central universities, the vice president is the chancellor. So यहाँ पे भी ऐसा नहीं है कि railway minister will be the ex officio chairperson or something like that. It's not that. It is just it's just it's a unique news. There is no generalization that we can do about it. So he will be the first chancellor, and Dr. Manoj Chaudhary is the first vice chancellor. Vice chancellors can keep changing. So Gati Shakti University was granted central status by the Union Cabinet in July this year. And in August this year, the central government introduced a bill in the Lok Sabha to convert National Rail and Transportation Institute into Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalaya. So there will be a lot of research and development in the fields of how progress can be fast-tracked, how semi-high speed or high speed trains can be developed, how different logistics can be handled. So this is a university for that, and Mr. Ashwini Vaishnav is going to be the first chancellor of it. The one thing is for sure, that for the first batch of this university, or maybe the first year, the degrees and the convocation ceremony will be headed by Mr. Ashwini Vaishnav. That is the one constant that is there. Another, so since we are just out of the football fever, Mr. Karim Benzema, the iconic football player from France, he has announced his retirement from international football. Ironically, I'm not very sure, but I think he could not participate in the World Cup. There was some injury maybe in the initial matches, due to which he was not seen in the final match. Otherwise he's one of the finest players out there, just like Kylian Mbappe. So he has announced his retirement, and he did 37 goals in 97 appearances for France. And when Benzema made his debut for France against Austria, so he made his debut in 2007, 15 years of career, he scored while playing as a substitute. That is how his career started, and now he has taken retirement. Next, so Oscar shortlists. We're talking about Oscar shortlists. So there are two entries of India that are there in the final 15. One is the Natu Natu song of RRR, the movie RRR. Natu Natu, or in Hindi it is Nacho Nacho. And then we have Chalo Show, India's official entry to the Oscars as the best feature film. So Gujarati language film Chalo Show, or Last Show, is in the international feature film category. So this is in the top 15. Shortlisting means top 15. Then the track Natu Natu from RRR, SS Rajamouli's movie RRR, is shortlisted in the best original song category. This is the same category in which Jai Ho had won an Oscar for India about 14 or 15 years back, in 2008, I think, 8 or 9. So this is the same category in which Jai Ho had won the Oscar for India for A.R. Rahman. Right, so this has been announced, and now the next list is going to be announced by the end of January, by January to the 24, I think. So then these 15 will be shortlisted to 9. And then in the beginning of February, it will be further shortlisted to 5. And finally, when we watch the award show, we see that for the nominees are the top 5. So there are only 3 Indian movies that we have sent till date in the last 70 years that have been able to made it to the top shortlisting in the Oscar awards. One is Mother India, second is Salam Bombay, and third is Lagan. So Mother India, Salam Bombay, and Lagan are the three movies that have made it to the final shortlist in Oscars, but none of them have been able to win the award. Let's see if the chain gets broken this year or not. Finally, UN Security Council's resolution on psychological well-being of UN personnel. There are so many countries in which the UN peacekeeping operations are working. So many of African countries where there is either civil war situation, or there is a conflict, or there is there are internally displaced persons, or maybe refugees, or maybe child rights crisis, or maybe a kind of an internal struggle for power. There are so many countries in which there are so many disturbances. In all those countries, there is a UN peacekeeping mission, and proudly we should say that India is the biggest contributor to the UN peacekeeping force. And now the UN Security Council has adopted this resolution on the mental health of UN peacekeepers. There was a report a few days back I was reading that every year more than 100 UN peacekeepers die, either because of physical fatigue or because of mental health issues, because they're working in such conflict areas. So it's a sort of an occupational hazard for them, which is a lot to ask for. So for them and their mental health, this UN resolution has been introduced. And India's permanent representative to the UN is Miss Ruchira Kamboj, and she said India pays the utmost significance to safety, security, and welfare of UN soldiers, and India sends the most troops over the years to the UN peacekeeping missions. The proposed resolution would mark UNSC's first mental health related standalone resolution. Most likely a resolution pass ho jayega, or India is spearheading the resolution also, and India is wholeheartedly supporting the resolution also. So here also India trying to be just like I mentioned earlier, India is also trying to take a lead in taking up the issues that not necessarily are important for the P5 countries, because that is what they have been doing. Just like Mr. S. Jaishankar said in a press conference, that Europe needs to grow out of the mindset that Europe's problems are world's problems, but world's problems are not Europe's problems. Right? So India, as a president of UN Security Council, and maybe as a member of the UN Security Council, or maybe by introducing or supporting such resolutions, is trying to send a message that the developing world or the underdeveloped world, their voices must also be heard. And in the next year's G20 also, India is going to put forth the point that these are the points that the developing world is asking you, and these are the questions that the developed world has to answer for the historic emissions, or maybe for international terrorism, or maybe for climate finance, or maybe for overall well-being of the entire planet. Because we are in a world right now where what one country does has a direct or indirect impact on the other countries. We are in a stage of hyper globalization, where we are seeing real-time impacts of anything good or bad happening in one or the other part of the world. So it's high time, you know, some country takes a lead and represents the developing and underdeveloped countries at the global stage. And India finds itself in that exact position. And if India is able to take advantage of this position, then our ascent to becoming a developed country and a leader of the global south may very well be concretized in the next few years. That is all we had to discuss in this video. If you liked it, then please press the bell icon and give it a thumbs up. Also share it with your friends so that they can also take benefit of the same. Thank you so much. This is me,